Loki was right. Loki, not Thor, should have been the king of Asgard. He would have protected the kingdom much better against Hela and Thanos. And I'm going to take it even further here. He would have protected Asgard against its most formidable enemy, Thor himself. Hey everyone, and welcome to House of Marvel for a new video. Today, we're going to answer the following question. Why was Loki right, and why would he have protected Asgard and the MCU much better against their greatest threats? All of this, backed up by facts and evidence. Go ahead and grab your coffee and get very comfortable. My name's Julian, and you're watching House of Marvel. First, let's take a closer look at exactly why Loki failed in the past. Because after all, he has already ruled Asgard, and it didn't go well at all. In Norse mythology, and in the MCU, Loki is trapped in time loops. In Norse myths, he triggers Ragnarok, which destroys Asgard, then it is reborn and everything starts over again. Loki, as an agent of change, is cursed and doomed to be the supporting character in the main stories of leading heroes, so that those characters can become the best versions of themselves. In Thor 1, Loki gains power, makes mistakes, and fakes his death. In Avengers, he comes back, gains power, makes mistakes, and fakes his death once again. In the Dark World and Ragnarok, he gains power and makes mistakes. Anyway, you get the idea. From the very beginning, you can see that Loki's character has huge potential for growth, but he keeps wasting his charm and intelligence on acts of ego. But the question is, why? Kid Loki, in episode 5 of the Loki series, gave us an answer. He says, "Every time one of us dares to try to change, they're sent here to die." The TVA intervened to stop any character development, condemning Loki to a cycle of defeat and rebirth. Loki's over 1,500 years of age, but when we first meet him, it is quite clear to everyone he's about as mature as a typical teenager. But Odin is actually the real culprit here. He raised Hela to be a bloodthirsty conqueror, then got scared when she became exactly that bloodthirsty conqueror. He spoiled Thor so much and was still surprised when Thor acted like a brat. And Odin completely ignored Loki and wanted to use him as a political tool. Odin raised both Thor and Loki by constantly pitting them against each other, which sparked a rivalry. Because of this, Loki began to crave his father's attention. It stunted his emotional growth, leaving him forever trapped as a boy in a man's body, like when he cuts Sif's hair in Loki. It's obvious, watching this scene, that he wanted to get Sif's attention, like a kid on the playground. Everything Loki does is to get attention. Tony puts it well in Avengers, when he says Loki wants an audience in a crowd. That's why he fails in the movie. Instead of using the Tesseract to take out the superheroes one by one, he wanted to play with them to prove he was the best. But, in a way, he was still trying to impress his father too. But if you really want proof of how badly Odin treated Loki, just watch Thor Ragnarok. Loki rules Asgard, but not as himself. He rules as Odin, the very man whose approval he was seeking. So, as king, he makes Odin praise Loki. He commissions statues and plays about himself to rewrite history and make people believe that Odin thought Loki was his favorite son. Loki wanted his father's approval so badly that he pretended to be his father just to compliment himself. Which, every time I watch Thor Ragnarok, makes me laugh, because it's honestly a really funny scene. But if you think about it, it's incredibly sad. And it always makes me feel a huge wave of sympathy for this Loki. Loki didn't brutally subjugate the Asgardians, or the entire 9 realms. He just wanted his father's attention. Proof is, when he returns to Asgard, he's not a conqueror, but a liberator. He says, "Your savior's here." Now, if Loki had received even a minimum of guidance and love, he would have been a wise and compassionate king who would have far surpassed Thor or Odin. Loki is the ruler the Asgardians needed, and the one they deserved. When we first see Asgard, it's at Thor's coronation. Odin chose Thor to be king, but it's never clear why he picked Thor instead of Loki or even Frigga. especially since Thor was old enough to replace his father long before. So why did Odin wait so long? Thor is arrogant, impulsive, and bloodthirsty.
Teach him a lesson.
Loki is by far, by a long shot, much smarter than Thor. In the first movie, he manipulated him so he'd be banished, lose his power. He would have killed him if Mjolnir's magic spell didn't exist. Thor never had to work hard for anything in his life, except maybe fighting. Loki had to do all that work, fighting and scheming just to get the throne. But all Thor had to do was live on Earth for a while, learn some humility, and keep his ego in check. So there's no doubt that Loki has a superior tactical mind, like in Infinity War, where he managed to get close enough to Thanos to stab him in the throat, which, as we know, would have worked if Thanos hadn't had an Infinity Stone. To put it simply, Loki would have aimed for the head instead of pausing to throw out an ego-filled one-liner at Thanos, like Thor does in Infinity War. The first thing Thor does when his life falls apart is drop everything to go find a new hammer. In doing so, he saw the world, once again, in a way that was far too simplistic. Thor fails to kill Thanos for a very simple reason: his pride. Well, he's never fought me. Yeah, he has. He's never fought me twice. And I'm getting a new hammer, don't forget. Odin ruined both his children and made each of them crave attention. In Thor's case, he's always trying to prove he's tough on top of that. In Age of Ultron, Thor says, "Someone who played a complex game turned us into pawns." But do you know who had already figured that out? Loki. Loki understood. He understood it while Thor was courting Jane. And after Thor's failure, and after Valkyrie saved their people and brought them to Earth, Thor turns into Bro-Thor. And instead of putting his people first, he wallows in self-pity with his friends from Sakaar. So, if the best version of Loki had ruled Asgard when Thanos attacked, he would have gathered his people, used the Asgardians to help protect the other Infinity Stones, and recruited Doctor Strange to help him since they'd already met. He could have even gathered the Avengers to protect the stones. And because Loki was aware of the universe's underworld, he probably would have known who the Guardians of the Galaxy were and known about the connection between Gamora and Thanos to exploit that weakness. In the Season 1 finale of Loki, he proves that he can grow and change, and also that he has a sharp analytical mind. Sylvie is driven by her emotions, wanted to kill He Who Remains out of rage and revenge. But Loki, who was once ruled by those same emotions, advises caution. So he no longer cares about ruling just for the sake of ruling. When he hears that a serious threat is approaching, he acts for the good of everyone, not just himself. So Loki has always had much more potential to be a far greater king than Thor. He lived his life with the feeling that something was wrong. He deserved to be king. So that's why, from the very beginning, Loki was right. Now it's your turn to give me your opinion. Let me know in the comments and feel free to send me your theories. I love reading them and debating with you. And as always, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like and share your thoughts in the comments. Also, to make sure you don't miss my next videos, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for joining us on House of Marvel. We hope you enjoyed exploring this incredible world today. We can't wait to have you back for our next episode, so be sure to tune in again soon. Until then, take care and we'll see you next time on House of Marvel.